Hello again, everybody. Camo Crusader for Christ, and this is the 28th day of living this year without fear. Man, 28 days. That means we've come to the end of 4 complete weeks now, and what a journey this has been. And as we sit back for a moment and reflect on God's grace and what all He's done for us this week, I'm thankful that He has provided everything for us that pertains to life and godliness. He provided for our atonement and our redemption through the cross of Jesus Christ. And you know, this helps me to live more confident and less fear each day. Jesus, it says, was our kinsman redeemer. That's what we found out in day 22 with Boaz. He was the redeemer for Ruth and Naomi. And in that we learned how Jesus was our great redeemer. And the next day I was reminded that God has plucked me from the fire like a burning brand and saved me. And how that as the devil may stand with me before God and say he's guilty, his garments are dirty, take a look at him, and this man does not deserve grace. But then I see that God says, hey, remove those dirty, smoky clothes from him. Give him some new garments. I have caused your iniquity to pass from you. Man, that's grace in action. I didn't deserve that, but that's what God does for me. That helps me to live without the fear of being accused by Satan to God for everything that I have done, because I've been cleansed and forgiven, and those accusations are removed. The next 2 days we spent in 2 Kings. We talked about Naaman, the leper, Elisha, and his servant Gehazi. And we saw how that Naaman learned that there is a God in Israel, and how that even in the dirty river of Jordan, he can wash you clean and make you just your skin like a baby's butt. It was all smooth. And then we learned that Gehazi had a greedy bone about him. We saw that he was deceitful. We saw how that he purposed in his heart to misrepresent his master and to get gain from that. He lied to Naaman, and then we saw that the leprosy was removed from Naaman was given to Gehazi and to his seed after him because of that. You know, he tried to hide what he did. He tried to stop and put the things in his house, and then he went back. And that's a reminder to me that when Elisha said, did not my heart go with you and was there when you did that, how that God sees everything in our life as well and what's in our heart. He sees all and nothing is hidden from him. And it's God's purpose to cleanse us and not curse us, but that there is a recompense for the evil that we plot to do. So to be able to live this year without fear, I'm learning to walk in God's paths and to do what He has told us to do because He put it there for my good. And if I go outside of that and I start being deceitful and I start doing things for my own gain and with cunning and with my own thoughts, then I'm probably going to get the payment that I deserve in this life for it. Yesterday we talked about Romans chapter 5. Talked about enemies. I never thought about being an enemy with God, but I am if I am outside of a relationship with Him through Jesus Christ, my Lord. I am thankful that I learned that I am justified by the blood of Christ, and that in faith I can live at peace with God every day, and I don't have to be an enemy of His. Today I want to take a look at Hebrews chapter 4 as we close out this week. It says there in the last 2 verses that we don't have a high priest that cannot be touched with feelings of our infirmities. That's the things that trouble us and that bother us and that weigh us down. It says that He was in all points tempted like you and I are, yet He was able to do it without sin. Let us therefore come boldly before the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy and find grace and help in a time of need. You and I are not alone in our struggles with temptation and sin. Temptation is something that is common to all mankind. Every person faces temptation in their life. Christ did as well. So he knows about that battle that goes on inside of you each and every day. He understands what our strengths are. He understands what our weaknesses are. But he says we are to go boldly before the throne of grace and find mercy and help in that time of need. There's the concept. When we pray, we get the help that we need for those temptations and for our infirmities. So I tell us, if we are struggling today with something in your life, don't let it get you down. Don't let it weigh upon you any longer. Rid it from your mind by going to God in prayer. Isolate that thought, give it to him, and cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. Take that temptation and give it to him in prayer. And God promises us in this verse that we will find mercy and grace and help in our time of need. Hey, wait a minute. That's another promise. Where's my promise notebook? I've got to write that down. Hebrews 4:15-16. God promises me that he will help me in all of my infirmities, that he will give me grace and mercy and help when I take it to him in prayer. I've got to write that down. I've got to trust in that and give everything to him that's troubling me. Well, Camo Crusader for Christ here saying, give it to God in prayer, remove doubt and fear from your life today, and may God bless you.